Welcome to the Tech Panel.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The podcast where tech minds meet.
Oh, hey, before we get started today, don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell.
Welcome to the Tech Panel. I'm your host, James Arvin.
And I'm Sarah Bowers, and this is the podcast where we dive into the cutting-edge innovations, ideas, and technologies transforming industries.
Each week, we sit down with the leaders and disruptors at the forefront of these changes to hear their stories, explore their vision, and uncover the challenges they're solving in real time. Today, we're excited to welcome Hari Sharma, the co-founder and managing director of Skillaroo, a groundbreaking startup focused on helping students and graduates become job-ready and thrive in their careers. Sarah, do you remember the first time you were job hunting?
I do, Arvin. I was actually job hunting in high school because I was doing work experience at Channel 7. And then I'd enrolled in uni, but deferred because Channel 7 offered me a job straight out of high school. I got trained up on the job, which is, awesome for media industry. And I've had now 20 years in the industry since.
Oh, you kind of cheated your way to the top.
I skipped the uni.
Well, for anyone who's taken a more traditional route through education, this is going to be something that's going to be really interesting.
With a professional background as an accountant and business consultant, Hari is equipping graduates to meet the challenges of an evolving job market. But how is he creating value-adding professionals of tomorrow?
We're about to find out. This is the Tech Panel.
Hi, Hari. How are you?
Going?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Great. Very great. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Great to be here.
Excellent. We thought we might dive straight in and get you to, explain your journey, from being an international student in Australia to co-founding Skillaroo. Was it born out of frustrations of the status quo? Tell us about it.
Beautiful. So just a bit of a background. I'm originally from Nepal.
Mm-hmm.
I came to Australia in Melbourne in 2015 to study masters in professional accounting.
Mm-hmm.
I actually used to work as an accountant back home as well. I worked there for about 3 years. And when I came to Melbourne, I finished my studies, lived there for a few years, and then I moved to the Northern Territory.
Mm-hmm.
So primarily as a career, I have been accountant and business consultant most of my life. And starting Skillaroo, actually, it's a funny story. One day, me and my friends were having beer in a pub. You know, we were talking about our struggles coming to Australia, the difficulties. And we knew that we sort of had the similar challenges. But on that particular day, we realized that our challenges and problems, especially when it comes to getting into the industry, were exactly the same. And by then, we had worked in the industry for a few years. And we thought that we can probably do something to contribute to solve this problem. Rather than complaining about, the university is not doing anything or the government is not doing anything, we thought we can probably do something about it. So we did a bit of research. We also did some sober meetings as well, without any fear. And
were they as productive as the ones at the pub?
Yeah. After that pub meeting, we did a few other meetings. We did a bit of research. And then we started Skillaroo within 2 weeks, basically. We registered the company.
Mm-hmm.
Then we did some background work for the next few months. And then we officially launched in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So it was actually, we didn't want to start this as a business to make a lot of money initially. We started this as a passion project. We did the project as a side gig in the evenings, on the weekends. And we saw that it actually requires full-time attention. So me and my friends, we sort of had a chat, and I decided, okay, it's a hard decision, but I'll leave my full-time job and commit to this full-time. And currently, we're delivering programs in Darwin and also in Melbourne. So a lot of challenges out there, but that's how we started Skillaroo.
Beautiful. I do want to, before we delve into, how you're going at the moment and the business, I wanted to find out about what were some of those challenges that you had entering the job market, you and your friend had. What were those challenges?
Well, initially, when I finished my master's and I tried to, get into accounting industry, I applied through Seek, through many other online platforms, and you don't receive any responses. That's the biggest problem, right? And you try to meet people, you try to meet accounting professionals. There are not many channels where you can go through. And when you are approaching individually, it becomes a bit difficult. You may meet a few people, but then it kind of becomes difficult. And on an average, it took us an average of 18 months to get into the industry after finishing our masters. even when we had experience previously. So, those were the challenges. And obviously, these challenges are there because of certain reasons. So now that we worked in the industry for a few years, we know the industry, we know the professionals, we know why the reasons are there, and we're trying to bridge the gap between the university and the job market.
Can you be a bit more descriptive? What exactly is broken, and how do we prepare young professionals for the job market? I understand you're saying there's an 18-month gap between when you graduate to the point where
Yes.
you tend to find something that's meaningful.
Yes.
What are the blockers that exist for these students, and what exactly are you doing to get around them?
Beautiful. That's a really good question. And that question is the very reason that we started Skillaroo. So see, the university is really good at teaching the academics and the fundamentals. But when it comes to doing the actual job, and you probably have, felt the same thing. If you did a university and you try to get into the job market, you're actually using different systems, different softwares. The work is done completely differently as compared to what you're taught at the university, right? And that problem is being felt not only by me, but pretty much all of the students. So what we're trying to do here is, let's say, for example, let's talk about accounting. You do accounting degree from the uni, you complete your degree, and then you come and start doing bookkeeping, accounts receivable, accounts payable, payroll. You're using completely different softwares than what you taught at the university, right? So the first thing we do is, okay, these are the softwares that are being used on the job market at the moment. So learn those softwares. And yes, okay, there are the accounting fundamentals, but there are new rules and regulations in place. So learn those as well. And then we connect those students with the industry professionals and what's happening currently in the industry, so that they can understand what's happening, what is needed, and how can they become value-adding professionals rather than just having, a certificate of a master's degree or bachelor's degree.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely. That makes complete sense. How are you, I guess, using technology in equipping these students with these industry-ready skills?
So basically, we are a startup and we're very agile in adopting new technologies, the softwares that are out there in the market. Even though I'm from the boring world of accounting, I love technology, and I love it for a reason. So starting out, we use a CRM system to sort of gather information about the students and the prospective students who are interacting with us. And once we have the information, what they want, and we obviously do have various courses that we deliver. And while delivering those courses, we use a learning management system. We see how the students are engaging with different resources that we're providing. We also use a lot of different softwares for marketing, social media tools, and anything that's out there that we can utilize. We're using those softwares. And basically, what we're trying to do is we're trying to provide a meaningful learning experience for our students, so that they can learn a lot and in a short period of time in the minimum cost possible, and basically go out there and be confident. Hey, this is what I can do for you. This is the problem that I can solve in this business. So rather than only looking for job, we ask them, hey, look for the problem. What is the business is trying to do? What is the problem they're trying to solve? So, and if you can add value, if you can go out there in the business and be confident and say that, hey, I've done the research. I have seen that you use the following softwares. I do have knowledge of the particular software, even though I don't know the exact software that you use. I've identified that it's quite similar, So that's what we teach them. And in terms of the software, obviously, I'm not going to name the softwares that we use, but we use a lot of softwares to make the process efficient.
So let's just dig into that for a moment. I think we've sort of skipped ahead to a few things, but I think we're missing something that's pretty important here.
Sure.
You said on one hand, frustrations are being felt on your side of the fence in the students after they graduate university, because they're going into the job market and the market's essentially telling you, great, you've got a degree. But it sounds like what you're implying is that they're saying that's useless out in the real world.
It's like outdated skills, I guess, almost, or outdated software, some of it.
Well, let's not say they're outdated skills. I think what we're sort of, I'm reading into this is that students are taught things like theory, principles, fundamentals, the frameworks of accounting. Let's use your example of accounting, right? And I can teach you all about theory, but that's never going to teach you how to do a financial audit. It's never going to teach
Yeah.
you how to file an ATO, anything along those lines. It's never going to teach you how to do reconciling for bank statements, right?
Exactly.
They're not real world skills. They're things that teach you how to fundamentally understand conceptually how the business is run, not tangibly how you can run an accounting side of the company. Are you implying, though, that you're still sort of teaching these fundamentals and theories, but you don't actually teach them how to file an account? Like, you tell me, are you actually teaching your students how to reconcile bank statements, how to file a tax return, or to perform an audit? I guess what I'm getting at here is, are you running the risk of doing the same, but a different flavor, of not actually preparing those kids or students how to do real things in the real world?
That's a great question. So what we teach at Skillaroo is exactly what you implied there, right? So for example, you need to do bank reconciliation. You need to file a BAS to the ATO, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we exactly teach. So let's say, for example, you need to file BAS using Xero or Mayo or QuickBooks. So that's what we exactly teach, because that's what you need to do at the job market if you go to one organization. So we are teaching students what needs to be done for entry level. Normally, we teach students for the entry level positions.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say, for example, if you are fresh graduate out of the uni, you'll be able to do all of the entry level accounting jobs once you prepare and go through our course. That's what we do here.
Yeah, it sounds like you're kind of fixing the failures of the education system. I mean, are the universities failing the students? Like you said, that they're using outdated software. They're not even being trained on the software that the accounting firms or the businesses are using. So, I mean, is there a lot of failures there? And I guess, do you have a message for the universities? What should they be doing to prepare the students for the workforce?
Hold on. Like, I really want to know, but is it really useful then? If I have to go to university, I studied for 4 years.
Especially for accounting, you need the certification. But tell us, is it useful? Tell us about that.
That's a great question. And see, I advocate that as well. I talk to people from the university, and the problem is they cannot really change the course right away if they want it, right? I think they sort of have to come up with a lot of new legislation, and if they want to change something, there is a long procedure. That's what I understand. But yes, the university education is not good enough. That's what I came to. That's what I realized. It's not good enough. It does not teach you the updated things if you don't have the understanding of the fundamentals. I think what should happen, what I truly believe is, let's say, for example, you did your SOT4 and diploma, advanced diploma. These courses, I believe, are better to perform those entry-level jobs as compared to the bachelor's and the master's. And if people do, SOT4 diploma, advanced diploma, they have a bit of experience, and then they go and do their bachelor's and master's, amazing, right? But then usually what's happening, especially with the migrants and international students, is, people are coming from there, they do their high school, they come to do their bachelor's, again, they do their master's right away without having any experience. And that sort of creates a problem, right? That's what I see most of the time. And yes, there is a problem. Yes, we have advocated with the university, even with the government. But I think rather than only complaining about it, it's a good idea that we start doing something about it as well. That's how we sort of got into this.
I mean, it does sound like, as you're saying, like you said it's better, it's more valuable to have a bachelor's and then go through you to get trained up. Is there any point in getting a diploma and then go through you and get trained up? Is there any point in having a bachelor's or a master's?
Yeah,
Do
seriously.
you need that to be registered with, the Association of Chartered Accountants or something like that? Do you need it for some reason, or is it pointless?
Do you feel like it's a money grab?
It is, to be honest with you, it might be controversial. It's a money grab.
I knew it.
And
see,
if you want my honest opinion,
we want that.
I'll be raw, right?
Yeah.
Most of the international students come here as a pathway to permanent residency. Let's say, yes, there are some students who really want to study because they have done the work and they want to do their masters, they want to do their bachelor's, right? But a lot of international students, they come here because it provides a pathway for permanent residency. And it's a money grab for the government. I can honestly say that, because see, it's 4 times more expensive to international students for majority of the courses than what the local students pay.
Yeah.
So if you're paying $10,000, international students are paying $40,000 for the same course, to study in the same uni, to stay in the same class, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a money grab, but obviously it teaches something, and it can be controversial as well. But if you want my honest opinion, I think it is not generating as much value as much as it is being charged. I can confidently say that.
I mean, it's an easy entry. It's one of the easiest sort of visas to get, like in terms of immigration, to get a student visa as such. So that's kind of like why it's
why it's really, really popular.
Yeah, why it's popular, but it's not actually teaching anyone anything that they need.
And you said it's the government is sort of doing this, but if I recall, I think I remember I tried doing this when I first moved to Australia.
Okay.
The application to get an educational visa is fairly cheap. The real cost is from the university. Why would you say it's the government that's preying on the students when it really sounds like the money grab is on the part of the universities here?
For the university, see, if you look at the bigger economy, right? So if the universities are charging fees to the students, yes, the universities are making money, but then the universities will pay tax to the government, right? So
but they're charging 4 times the amount.
They're charging 4 times the amount, and I think it's sort of mandated for international students. The fee is higher. So if you go to any website of any university, look at the fee what they charge to the local students and to the international students. And I'm not saying that it's unfair. They should not charge higher. It's probably for a valid reason. And if international students are happy to pay that amount, that's fine. But when they pay the fee and they graduate out of the university, I think it's really important that they can generate value out of it as well. It's valuable for them. That's what I honestly believe.
So in essence, what you think is that the government wants taxes. So they create a scheme where they can charge you to get access to the country through a visa, but then they force, you're implying that they're forcing the universities to charge 4 times as much because they get to double dip in the bucket by claiming X amount of taxes, where they would get less if they were not forcing the universities to charge 4 times more.
I think it's a serious topic, right? And rather than me saying a lot of things about the government and the university, I think it's bigger issue, obviously. And rather than delving into it deeply and sort of saying, oh, the government is creating a scheme, I really don't want to say that. But what I can confidently say is the students are not getting as much value out of the university as much they're investing. That I can confidently say. And the universities need to do more to make the students more employable. That's for sure. And the government, I believe, need to invest more to make those graduates more employable. There's no question about it. But in terms of delving deeply into those issues, I think it can be controversial and it needs a bit of more discussion.
And there's the other side of it, which is also they're looking to with the cost of living and immigration at the moment in Australia, that's being really heavily looked at. It's currently run by the universities themselves, the quotas and all of that sort of thing, and they're saying, should that be put back on the government or is it the unis? They've kind of been running their own race, right?
Yeah, I think there's a fairly large amount of discussion going on as to what should we do. Obviously, a lot of people are debating on this. New policies are coming up, and that needs to happen. And I think one thing that the government has accepted is the international students are coming here and they're paying the fees, and it is being used as a pathway for permanent residency. And even if you look at the discussions on the side of the government, they are openly saying it. Right. So obviously there is something that needs to be improved. Yeah,
definitely. It could be an entire conversation for another day. But there's obviously, as you said, they're falling short in educating the kids and getting them, ready for the job market. Your program obviously seems like it's bridging that gap in between.
Yes.
There's a lot of other, I guess, development programs out there as well. And, a lot of them feel like very generic, one size fits all. How is yours, I guess, tailored to the experiences of the students? How are you using technology and where are these other programs falling short?
Okay, beautiful. So a few programs that are out there in the market at the moment after the university is a professional year program that is dedicated to mostly IT graduates and also for accounting graduates. So that looks into employability skills, which is a really good thing.
Yeah.
It's about a 10 months program, 7 months of which would be, again, teaching in the classrooms, teaching a lot of, let's say, communication skills, resume optimization, your personal branding, workplace communication, workplace culture, and all that. And then 3 months of internship usually. So that's how it goes. When it comes to Skillaroo, we also teach the technical skills, right? So usually the other programs are not providing the technical training where we are providing the technical training as well as the soft skills training. We combine both of these so that, we can do it in much faster speed and in much less cost as compared to the other programs out there in the market.
Yeah. And I imagine as well, with technology moving so quickly and
Yes.
software advances and things like that, if the unis can't keep up, you're there. You're, as you said, you're a startup that's nimble and agile, and you can say, hey, look, this is being used in the market. There's a need for this. Let's change this program so that we're constantly updating and upskilling.
Exactly. And even with our offerings, we are currently offering programs mostly for IT and accounting students. And we have the in-house expertise as well. We have people who have worked in the industry in IT domain and also in accounting domain so that they can come in and say, hey, this is what is currently being used in the industry. Yeah. And they can teach the exact same things so that the students can get value out of it.
Yeah, perfect. I wanted to know sort of what is that software? What is that technology that is currently being used? What are you finding that's the must-haves?
Yeah. So let's say, for example, if you take an example of accounting, Xero is being used a lot. Mayo and QuickBooks is there as well. A bit more big organizations are using SAP and some other softwares as well. Students out of the university don't even know how to use Excel properly, many students. And it's sad, right? It's a very basic thing that can be learned in a few days. Yep. But students don't even know how to use that properly. So from the very basics, like Excel to Xero, Mayo, QuickBooks, SAP, these are the kind of software that we are providing training on.
So let's say a typical degree takes around 4 years. What's the timeline for your study for, say, an accountant who wants to be able to understand how to practically manage the job effectively? How much time would it take for your course on average to get completed?
So our courses, normally if you enroll for the technical trainings, our courses are for 3 months.
3 months?
So we do a training 1 day a week for 3 months, yeah.
Would you say that you could have taught someone that's anyone, forget the uni student. What if this person didn't go through uni? Would you have still been able to teach them in 3 months?
That would be very hard. So if they don't have a fundamental knowledge, if they know nothing, let's say, for example, accounting or IT, it would be very hard for us to teach them within 3 months. So if we look at our students, all of our students are either graduates from the university or they have done some sort of accounting or IT courses before.
Like a diploma or an advanced certificate or something like that, some sort of TAFE program.
Exactly. The majority of them are through the university.
How many of these students do you think are aware that they still have this gap after they finish their education where they need to rely on someone like you?
I think when students start applying for those positions and don't receive any responses from the employers, they start realizing, okay, why am I not getting it? And also when they talk to someone who has done graduation before them, I believe majority of them realize that the course is not enough.
And are you in communication by any chance with these facilities? Like, is there any feedback loop, I wonder, from the people on the ground that have to deal with the day-to-day challenges of getting people into seats and jobs? Or do you think they're just operating potentially in a vacuum? Do you have any way of communicating these gaps?
Communicating to businesses or to the
To the
university?
universities, probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Universities. See, we try to be in constant touch with the university. We talk to people informally. Obviously, being a small startup, for-profit startup.
Yep.
The universities don't really want to partner directly. At least as of now, we haven't been able to. But yes, they are aware of the problems as well. The universities are aware of the problems, and they're trying to solve the problem. It's not that they're not trying to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
We can see career centers that are trying to improve the employability of the students, right? They are constantly in touch with the businesses, and they're trying to do internships and placements, and they're doing a few things from their end as well.
Yep.
But I think what is being done is not sufficient, because you can see, and you can also go to Australian Financial Review, and I was reading an article a few days ago. More than 47% of the graduates are unemployed.
Yeah, wow. 47%. Did you say more than 47% of graduates are unemployed?
No, sorry, not unemployed. More than 47 don't have the full-time jobs. And majority of them are not in, even those who are doing the jobs are not doing jobs in the related field of study, right? Majority of the graduates are driving Ubers, or they are doing jobs in hospitality, or working in jobs that don't utilize their talent and skills.
I want to make sure
And-
I'm not misunderstanding what you're saying, though, because I think you said before, a lot of what you do focuses on international students. Are you implying that that is internationally focused, or also on local students?
It is not only for international students. Even the local students can come and do our course.
Yep.
But majority of our students are international students. That's probably because we started this because we had to face the problem, and we're more connected to international students.
Yep.
But yes, it is offered to both international graduates and the local graduates.
I guess what I'm wondering, though, sorry, be pedantic here, is when you say it's
Sure.
47% of them are not working full-time in one of these positions, or there's a subset of them that are not even in the field that they're operating in,
Yes.
are the metrics that you're basing that off of only based off of the foreign international students? I guess I'm wondering, do students that are born and raised and go to local universities have a higher probability of getting placements into full-time roles, and then there's a higher probability over here versus students not in versus the international students?
Yeah, I think I got a question.
Yeah, sorry.
So the statistics is based on the data of the international students.
Okay.
That is not based on the local students. And local students, yes, they do have a higher probability of getting into the industry. And for international students and graduates, I think it's a bit more difficult because of the different culture and communication.
Right.
Because when you come from a different culture, you don't have a really good communication skill, or even the language skill. It can make a difference. So it's not just the technical skill, it's obviously the soft skills and the communication skills as well.
I see. That opens up another can of worms there. That's a whole other problem that needs to be solved.
Yeah. I guess I just love that you've already found that. You've found that there is a problem there, and rather than just, as you say, complain about it, you're kind of coming up with solutions, which is great. How do you see, I guess, the future of roles such as, accounting, with the development of AI, that can do a lot of those sort of, I guess, mundane tasks that it would almost see. A lot of that bookkeeping sort of work can sort of be solved by technology in the future. So how do you see the future of these sorts of roles?
I think it's going to be completely different. And I can say this from my experience as well. So when I was working as an accountant back home in Nepal 10 years ago, something that used to take 10 hours can now literally be done within 2 hours. And that is because of technology, right? So something, let's say, for example, we get a bill, we had to record all of that manually. Now we can simply take a photo, the system can scan all of that, gather the information, it can record and give it to you. All you have to do is to double check and click OK, right? So if you had to pay 100 suppliers, you had to write checks for those 100 suppliers, either post it to them, or they had to come to your office, or you had to, give it to them some way. Now all of those 100 suppliers can be paid in one click, right? And that is because of technology. there is AI. So with AI, a lot of now I think we personally haven't used a lot of AI to do analysis and forecasting, but I believe that is going to be the future. A lot of repetitive tasks which follow a certain procedure,
Yep.
and we always click certain buttons that has been automated already, right? And I believe that it will evolve more. And jobs that you describe, for example, bookkeeping or payroll, I think these are going to be automated on a much higher level. So in the future, I believe it's going to be much more of advisor roles rather than data entry or mundane bookkeeping tasks. That's what I think will be in the future. Yeah.
And I guess those sorts of roles, those bookkeeping, payroll, they're usually sort of the graduate positions. So if you're saying that, AI is going to be, using those, basically being able to do those early, early entry sort of roles, and humans will be needing to do more advisory roles, where do graduates fit in?
That's I think that's a really good question. And I believe in the future, the roles will change as well. So as the graduates are graduating from the university, I think it's very important that they start looking into, okay, what are the technologies that are being used out there in the market, and try to understand them, and rather than just looking into accounting, if they start understanding technology, then I think the chances of being employed will be much more higher, because business is all about solving a problem and adding value to its clients. So if we start looking into, okay, what the business is doing, what are the technologies in use, how can I learn it? So being open about what's happening in the market, learning that, and being adaptable is very important for the graduates as well. Because if they do that, the chances of being employed will increase significantly.
Most of the jobs, when I think back to accounting, were, so from my experience are, we've got 3 different teams. We've got accounts payable, accounts receivable, I forget the name in the middle, but these are mostly just manual workers. They're essentially looking in email inboxes, trying to find invoices, make sure they're entered into an accounting system, reconciling the information. That is all exactly what AI is designed to replace.
It's doing it at the moment, as you say. Yeah.
I mean, we're using it. Everyone's using it for this process. Yeah, I think you raise a really good point, right? We're kind of releasing technology that's going to be pushing these people out. Like, why would you want to have someone employed to do something that can be easily done significantly more effectively in seconds versus hours or days that someone in accounts payable or accounts receivable team would be doing? Do you fear that that's something that's going to happen to them?
I think eventually it will happen. Those jobs which are the basic repetitive tasks, all of those will be gone or minimized to a very, very lower number, right? If 10 people were needed to do that job, now 1 person can do that. So obviously the business is not required to spend that money, which is a good thing, right? It's not a bad thing necessarily. And even when we feel like, people are not getting the jobs because of AI, eventually I think it's a good thing because it makes the businesses more efficient and they can utilize that resource in something else. So I think what it comes down to is if you are studying accounting or IT or any in any industry, I think it's important that you start learning how that system works. Let's say if it is AI, how AI works, and put that into practice. So even if the bookkeeping, accounts receivable, accounts payable are being automated, there are advisory positions. You need to interpret the data and you need to advise the business. And if you can become that person, obviously there is a potential of being employed. So I think that's what we need to look into when we're looking at the larger picture.
I've got one last question around these jobs. If you could look into the market right now and say, based on my experience and what I'm seeing, who do you foresee will be the first jobs to get the cut when AI and these other language models finally take hold?
Well, see, if you look into accounting right away, I think accounts receivable will need much less people. Accounts payable will need much less people. It already needs much less people. Payroll is another area. Reconciliation is another area. Even for reporting, it has become much more easier. So all of those positions are
Isn't
already
that everything?
Well, that's in accounting.
Yeah,
But
in
what about
accounting.
like in business? You're also, you've worked in business consultancy. So, in something like in any business.
I think no, there is a bit more to accounting than that.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that is
yeah.
the data entry, recording, and processing. There
Sure.
is also advisory, looking into it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
of
And
course.
let's say if you look into financial advisors,
Yeah.
they look into a bit bigger picture, and they advise a lot of things. Yes, the advisory positions are still there. It's becoming much more efficient, but I think there'll be more advisory positions,
Sure.
right? But in terms of record keeping and those mundane tasks, that'll be definitely reduced or eliminated eventually.
There you go.
Yeah. In what about in other, in that I guess that goes across any business, that, those mundane tasks. Then, I guess, my question still is that what do the graduates do?
Yeah, that's exactly
where
where
do
I'm
they
going.
start? Because
right.
they don't just start in as a financial advisor. They start as,
AP.
some of
AR.
those smaller
Yep.
smaller tasks that AI will be taking. So even
Yeah, I
across
think-
any industry, where do the
Yeah, I
graduates
think
go?
that's the biggest question of the era,
Yeah.
because see, everyone wants the advisors, experienced people, but how do they get experienced people if they haven't worked?
Yeah.
If they're not getting those basic jobs.
Mhm.
Let's see how the world plays out, because the businesses are obviously not going to invest money just to train the graduates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, there are some graduates program done by medium to large businesses, and they are there for a reason. But then majority of the businesses, they look into, okay, what is the benefit of me doing this, of investing this money, right? So most of the businesses, if they don't need employees, obviously they're not going to hire, and obviously for the good reason, right? But let's see how the world plays out. And when the graduates are graduating, I think they will also start learning using those tools and softwares so that they can become efficient. But yeah, it's a great question.
I guess you've sparked an idea as well within me, that I know that some of those larger businesses have the graduate programs, but you're almost the graduate programs for all the other businesses, right? So they come from university. You're the graduate program. They do that there, and then they move on. So I guess a business like yours, could grow as technology grows, and especially in this rapid pace. You're agile. You can keep training them. You're the graduate program.
Yeah, exactly. And see, I have worked in the business. I have worked for many businesses because I used to work in one of the accounting firms. And what I've realized is businesses have its own challenges, right? Especially in a transient population like Darwin. People come here, they live here for a few years, they study here, and then they move to the bigger cities. When they move, they leave their jobs, right? So what happens is, let's say there's a small business, they train one person to become accountant, to become IT professional. It takes about 3 to 6 months time to start getting value from them. And within a few months, if that person moves away, all of that investment went in vain, right? So we see that as well. So what we're doing here is, hey, if we are training them for 3 months and we are training them with the proper professionals, what happens is they're skilled enough so that they can hit the ground running when they go to the businesses, right? So that is the value that we're trying to create. And obviously, as you mentioned, the large, medium to large businesses, they do have the graduate program, and they're attracting really good graduates right off the uni. They have great communication skills, problem solving skills, and that's what we need nowadays, and probably having a great knowledge of accounting is not must when you can look into those softwares and get the information from ChatGPT or Perplexity or Google.
Yeah.
So yes, obviously, I think in future it's going to be much more about being able to solve a problem, being able to communicate that. And yes, there are graduate programs, and there's Skillaroo, which is trying to solve, even if it is in a smaller scale, we're trying to do something.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
And do you feel that we run the risk, that is to say, of setting our younger generations up for failure if we build their education off the back of these systems that automate the basics? That is to say, like, I mean, this happens to me countless times throughout my lifetime. We relied on a system, it has a problem, and now it's like, well, you just do your job without the system. And if AI is doing all the AP, the AR, the reconciliation, all these things, do you think we're potentially setting them up for a future where they can't actually manage the basic concepts of whatever role that it is that they're moving into?
I think again, that's a great question, and I don't have any straightforward answer to it. But what I believe is, uh, I think it's always good to have technology doing that automation, because I think human mind is capable to understand things. Even if we are automating a lot of things,
Mm-hmm.
we will be able to comprehend how things work
Yep.
eventually, right? Not right away, not in 1 year, 2 years, but eventually I think it'll work out in the benefit of the business, in the benefit of the people. So I think as much as we can automate the mundane tasks, I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think we should 100% move in that direction. I guess I just wonder, I guess what I was getting at there is,
When
are
you
we just
rely
gonna-
on something
Well-
to do the job and it fails, or say the internet goes down, how do we make it work?
well, will we still teach how to do it, or will
Yeah.
it just be use this system to manage AP or AR or whatever
I
it
think
is?
they'll still teach it because there's skills in learning something new. You know, there's a skill in learning, being able to learn things.
Mhm.
You know, and there's a skill. I remember my old maths teacher, and I think it's just an example that stuck with me and was really, important in my formative years. My maths teacher, I was doing advanced mathematics, and he said, "You will not use this in your everyday life when you finish school. You will not use these complex problem solving skills. You will not use all of these algebraic equations. But what you will learn is the problem solving skills that you get from doing these activities.
Yep.
You do this. You solve this problem. You figure out ways to think differently. It opens up new neurons in your brain that is making you think differently and solve problems. And that stuck with me. And that's always stuck with me. And I think that's why I'm a good problem solver, although I'm in creative industries, but I loved mathematics. It's because I can solve problems and it taught me how to do that. So I think there's still skill in learning, right?
Yes, exactly. And I get his worry and concern as well. And I see that on everyday life. When we used to do accounting, we had to do journal entry for every single transaction.
Oh my God.
And we had much deeper understanding of the concept and the fundamentals. And I look at students today, and they don't have that much of understanding, because they don't have to do that on a regular basis, because a software is a really good user-friendly software.
Yeah.
And they can simply write an invoice rather than creating a journal.
Mm-hmm.
They can record a bill rather than creating a journal. So it's becoming much more user-friendly. It's better for the businesses. Even a business person who is starting their own small enterprise can do their own bookkeeping and accounts receivable, payroll, which is a good thing. But in terms of understanding of an accounting professional, yes, it is hitting on that. I completely agree with that.
When you touched on it there in terms of people, graduates starting small businesses, do you think it'll be the rise of the entrepreneur? Or are you kind of, skilling people for entrepreneurship?
Yes, I believe that in future there'll be more entrepreneurs, and I completely agree that people should not live their entire life simply doing a job. I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
I think people should follow their passion. People should try to find meaning in what they do, and that's happening more and more. So as it happens, I think there'll be a rise of entrepreneurs. When they see a problem out there in the market, they would want to know whether that's going to be a viable business. And if it can be a viable business, I think there'll be more entrepreneurs, and technology is going to help them in starting those businesses and solving those problems.
Yeah.
So, and in terms of Skillaroo, if we are doing anything about it, eventually what we want to be is we want to become a platform for the professionals, where we create a tribe, we create a platform where people can come and share their experiences and help other people, and also get help from other people, right? So starting from students, graduates who are trying to enter into the job market, to those who are trying to upskill. They have already done job in the market for a few years, and now they want to upskill, they want to change industry, and they want to go to some let's say become an entrepreneur or have a different job. That's what we want to be eventually. Even though right now what we're doing is we are offering career ready programs. We want to be supporting all the professionals.
Yeah, all the professionals, whether they're going into a business or an entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's you touched on it there as well, where you said, even entrepreneurs will be following their passion or their purpose.
Yes.
What is it that drives you and keeps you going? What's your purpose?
Well, that's one question I haven't found answer yet. To be honest with you, right? It's very hard to realize where you really are and what you really want to do in your life. But what I've always tried is, if there is a problem, if I can contribute something to solving that problem, I always want to do that, and I have done that through many different mediums. For example, I do volunteering a lot. So I worked as a secretary of Nepalese Association of Northern Territory for the last 2 years. And even now I sort of look into the projects that are related to, entrepreneurship, related to employment, because I think entrepreneurs are the people who can eventually, save the world.
Yeah.
So if you are seeing a problem, if you can add value to something, I think that's what you need to do. Either through your job or through volunteering. So yeah, that's a really difficult question that I haven't been able to find answer to, but yeah, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, it's I guess it is a common answer to always be giving back or to have those things outside of work as well to find that purpose as well. This has been such an incredible chat. I've really enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, it's been great.
We usually ask our guests before we go if there's any pieces of software or technology that you just couldn't live without, and that's usually within your business, but it could be something personal as well. I guess what are your top 3 pieces of software or tech that you couldn't live without? I mean, I would say you'd probably say 0, but as an accountant, everyone goes 0.
Well, I think that will depend on what's your profession, what do you want to be, where do you want to go, right? But I'll give you a different answer here. Yeah. So learn about yourself, because human body is the most complex hardware and software that you can find in the world. So understand more about yourself, how you can be the best of yourself. So if you can do that, I think you'll know what software to learn or what program to attend to. You'll know that automatically. So pay attention to yourself and try to become the best version of yourself. Find out what your true passion is, what is meaningful to you. So yeah, that is the advice that I would like to give at the end.
Because we are a tech podcast, is there any piece of technology that you would highly recommend to other people within the industry that you feel you can't live without, or you feel they should be taking advantage of because it could be a game changer for them?
Beautiful. So in terms of, because I worked as an accountant majority of my life, obviously, as he mentioned, I would recommend Learn Xero. And if you learn Xero, it's quite similar to even Mayo and QuickBooks. So, even if you go to different organizations, even if you start your own business, that is going to be helpful. Learn spreadsheets. If you can learn Python, great. But, even if you don't want to jump into coding and then Python, at least spreadsheets and accounting software. That's what I would like to recommend here.
Yeah, great.
Awesome.
I still love that your body is the best software and technology you've got. I love that. That's brilliant. I'm just waiting for the upgrade though.
Yeah.
I want it to just auto upgrade. Can it just can I just have auto downloads of upgrades so that I'm just like the next best version of myself? If that can happen, that's brilliant.
Well, before we wrap up, I'd love to hear where our listeners could find out more about who you are, what your product is. Would you like to take a second to sort of plug the product?
Definitely. So if you would like to know more about Skillaroo, you can simply go to skillaroo.com.au. You can also reach out to me in LinkedIn. So if you type Hari Sharma, you'll see me there with the Skillaroo beneath it. And I have, if you want to connect with me or even get my phone number, it can be displayed on the screen. So yeah, basically our website, www.skillaroo.com.au.
Love it.
Harry, as someone who's helping the industry bridge the practical gap, I absolutely commend you. I wish I knew someone like you before I went into IT years ago. It would have been phenomenal if someone could have actually provided me with the practical tools to get the job. Thank you so much for coming on to the show, and we look forward to hearing from you and following what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I would love to catch up again soon. Thanks, Hari.
Right. Great. Thank you for having me. It was really a pleasure talking to you guys and get into the details, not only the surface, but get into the details of
Thank you. We
what
appreciate
I
it. We
really
appreciated
believe.
your
Thank you.
honesty too.
Yeah, thank
we
you.
love that. That was
All
great.
right, beautiful. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
.com.au.
Love it.
Harry, as someone who's helping the industry bridge the practical gap, I absolutely commend you. I wish I knew someone like you before I went into IT years ago. It would have been phenomenal if someone could have actually provided me with the practical tools to get the job. Thank you so much for coming on to the show, and we look forward to hearing from you and following what's going to happen next.
Yeah, I would love to catch up again soon. Thanks, Hari.
Right. Great. Thank you for having me. It was really a pleasure talking to you guys and get into the details, not only the surface, but get into the details of
Thank you. We
what
appreciate
I
it. We
really
appreciated
believe.
your
Thank you.
honesty too.
Yeah, thank
we
you.
love that. That was
All right,
great.
beautiful. Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye.
Megan, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tech Panel. If you like what you heard, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn to stay connected. A big thank you to our major sponsor, TraffTrack, for powering today's episode, and join us again on the next episode of the Tech Panel, where tech minds meet.